Welcome to today's athlete on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Today's athlete is brought to you by MyBookie.ag and Replenishing Care Technologies. Make sure you go. Click on the banners on thegruelingtruth.net to check that out. I'm your host for the show today, Mike Goodpaster, and right now I would like to welcome in my guest, current Chicago Bears cornerback. Help me welcome to the show, Marcus Cooper. How you doing, Marcus?
Finding yourself. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, great to have you on. So let's just start off. When did you start playing football, and who were some of your early influences?
I actually started when I was 7 years old. So it was a while ago, but I was actually a receiver. I was always on the offensive side of the ball until I was a junior in college. So I used to look up to guys like Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Reggie Wayne, the more of a prolific receiver that during the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, I used to look up guys like Fred Biletnikoff and Jerry Rice. That's how much older I am than you. But since you've been in the league, have you got to meet Randy Moss and Chris Carter, guys like that?
Actually, no, I haven't. Hopefully I get to stick around a little bit longer and maybe one day run into them, on that commentating side of things.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I read that you were a two-sport star in football and track. You want to tell us a little bit about your high school career?
Oh, it was a decent career. I played three sports. I was actually honorable basketball in my senior year in high school. We won a state championship. Track, I had a great group of guys around me, great coaches. We won a number of championships in track, and I didn't get the championship in football, but we were able to, string together a couple good years, at my time while there. So I was a receiver there. I was just able to be around a bunch of good people, a bunch of good coaches, a bunch of good players as well who pushed me, and I tried to push them to be the best we could be and make the best opportunities we were given.
All right, so you get done with your high school career. What was the recruiting process for you, and what drew you to Rutgers University?
The recruiting process was interesting. At first I think I put myself out there good enough. I got a lot of notoriety for some schools. I got almost every major college was kind of looking at me. I got letters from everywhere, but when it came down to offering, I really didn't receive any. I had some great schools who did offer me, though, Akron, Delaware, UMass, some of the smaller schools. And I originally committed to Temple. I ended up decommitted to Temple. They committed to Akron, and I actually, of course, decommitted from Akron and went to Rutgers. Rutgers is just a place that felt like home. The coaching staff there was great. Some of the people I got to interact while on my official visit were great, and it just made me feel like it was someplace I wanted to be. I loved the Big East at that time. It was a powerhouse conference, and it was putting out a number of guys each and every year, and great teams each and every year as well. So it's something I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, and that was a program at Rutgers that I think people forget before Coach Schiano got there was really, I hate to say it, but kind of down in the dumps. But as soon as he got there, they became a team that was in the top 20 consistently. You want to talk a little bit about your coaches at Rutgers, Coach Schiano?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Coach Schiano was a great guy, defensive-minded guy, defensive genius, actually. He had Bob Frazier who also actually helped him call some of those calls. But, he was, like I said, defensive genius. He was actually very strict, of course, but, that just made for a great environment for us to be in. And I feel like everybody there, thrived off his knowledge of the game and, the details and discipline that he brought along with it. Then I had Coach Flood my fifth year, and I can't say enough about Coach Flood. I enjoyed playing for him. He came in there. He was more on the offensive side of things, so he got things rolling. And he just brought a lively presence to the game and to the sport. And he's also such a knowledgeable guy. So I had a great time in college. I had two reputable coaches that actually were able to coach me and actually looked up to those guys.
All right. So you talked about you were a wide receiver your first couple of years. Don't think you played a whole lot. What was the impetus to get you to switch sides of the ball? Was it just to get more playing time, or did one of your coaches see something in you?
Actually, Shiano saw something in me. He said, he felt that I'd be a good corner. I had all the good measurables, good songs, rangy, good length. I had good speed, and I understood the game as well. And he said I like to hit as well. So he saw that in me. We actually had some great receivers and stuff also that was there, and he just tried to maximize his talent level. I feel so. I was able to make the switch with his push and with his guidance.
Now, how difficult was it the transition for you going from wide receiver to defensive back?
Oh, I mean, it was actually kind of hard. Actually, it was something that I wasn't expecting. Mentally, first and foremost, I was kind of devastated because I've never played defense really in my entire career. So, I'm 20, 21 years old and asked to switch over. It's kind of felt like a slap in the face. But like I said, Shiano saw something in me, and I'm happy I made the switch. Coming over and just learning a different, play style or having a different mentality was a little bit different at first. It took me a couple years to get it down, but something I continue to try to work on and perfect and continue to try to build upon.
Well, it's always better to be the hitter than the hittee, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you start playing DB. Was your goal at that point, by the time you get to your senior year, was your goal to play in the NFL?
To be honest, I didn't have a goal set. I was just trying to maximize every year and continue to learn the position. Thankfully, I had the opportunity to get to the NFL, which gave me even more time to continue to learn and to try to get better and continue to perfect what I was given. But I would be lying to you if I said, I saw myself being in the NFL when I switched. Like I said, it's something I never did before. I never even thought about playing, being a corner, until I was forced to be one in a sense. So it was just something that was just a blessing given, and I was able to, try to capitalize and continue to try to capitalize on these opportunities that I'm given.
Yeah, and coming out, I think most guys, most draft analysts, experts, I don't know how they get called that, by the way, because most of them I don't think have a clue what they're doing, but projected you to be a seventh round pick or a priority undrafted
Right.
free agent. You were drafted, I think, in the seventh round by the 49ers.
Right.
What was that
Right.
experience like for you going to camp? Seventh round, it's not like they paid you so much money, they've got to keep you. What was the
Right.
competition
Right.
like, and was the transition from college to the NFL and the speed of the game, was that a big thing for you there?
Oh, first and foremost, I was ecstatic to even get drafted. This was something that I always dreamed about as a kid, but I didn't think that I was going to be able to accomplish that once, with my turn of events. But getting there was already 8 corners ahead of me. Nandi Asamoah, Carlos Rogers, Terrell Brown, Chris Culliver, Jermaine Brock, Pettis Cox. I mean, the list went on, and I didn't think I would actually make the team, but like I said, I had an opportunity to learn and continue to learn. I had Ed Donatel at the time who was my coach, and he took an interest to me. So, I just tried to continue to pick up some things at the cornerback position, and try to essentially learn from some of the best coaches out there, and hopefully that would take me to another place if that was the case, or land a spot on the roster, and just continue to try to grind it, figure out the position in a sense. Because I look at it today, and I'm still learning the position today. So it's all been a learning curve. It's all been a educational thing for me. But I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to continue to do so.
Yeah, and when you look back at it, I mean, nobody expected you to make it that far. You were the last cornerback selected in that draft, and to come as far as you have
Right.
today is kind of incredible. I would assume when you look at it with the 49ers, you made it all the way, to the last cuts?
Right.
Okay, so what was it like for you, that first preseason game? Even though it's a preseason game, to go from where you'd come from to actually step on an NFL field
Mm-hmm.
with a 49ers jersey on?
Right. I mean, it was a rush, you know. Like I said, something I dreamt of all my career, you know, since I was 7 years old, and to be able to essentially accomplish that goal. I mean, I think I could have, if I would have went away and never played the NFL game again in my career, you know, just be able to say that I made it that far would have been something special. But luckily I'm still here, and have some different goals set and some different things I want to accomplish. But to look back at that time, you know, it was kind of unreal at the time, and I'm just happy to be here still.
Yeah, and then 2013, a couple days later, or the day after your cut, you get signed by the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid. That had to be exciting for
Right.
you. You go to Kansas City. You want to talk to us a little bit about the process there? Did you claimed off waivers from the Chiefs?
Yeah, I can't say enough about Andy Reid and the coach staff he did have. Al Harris, Emmett Thomas, those were my defensive back coaches, and tops off to those guys. I came in, and they told me I'm here to play special teams. I'm gonna learn the playbook, and we'll go from there. I guess I picked it up pretty quick, and those guys just continued to work with me every day. Al Harris, every single day, we went to work, and we worked at it, and we continued to work at it. So a lot of my success, to Al Harris. A great coach, great defensive mind as well, and he just had the mentality that I needed, and we just continued to grind together, and I eventually was able to get some playing time and try to make some plays for those guys because I seen that they invested and thought so much about me, and I just wanted to return the favor.
Yeah, and it seems like you had a good run there. You liked everybody there, but after 3 years, the NFL's a business, of course. You get traded to the Cardinals. What was your initial reaction to that? Was that something that caught you by surprise, or you kind of knew was coming?
Both, it was my third year. I wasn't getting as much playing time as I once was, of course. So I was just looking for a new start, actually, and Arizona was able to bring that to me, and I enjoyed my time out there. I mean, honestly, that's another stand-up program, stand-up organization, shall I say. And, they took good care of me out there. And once again, I just tried to return the favor and return that belief in them that they had in me.
Yeah, and you get to play behind or with Patrick Peterson. Was
Right.
he a guy that was helpful to you when you got there?
Oh, absolutely. All those guys that were there, we had a great secondary, not just as a unit, but, coaches, Kevin Ross, Nick Rapone, top coaches that we had there. Then our secondary was loaded, of course. Not only did we have Patrick Peterson, but, Tyrann Mathieu, Tony Jefferson, DJ Swearinger. I mean, Tyvon Branch, these names kind of go on as well, so every one of those guys, in a sense, helped out at one point in time for me during the season, and helped me learn the playbook as well. I took something from their game, from here and there, and just tried to make it the best of my situation and try to, just become better and perfect the things that I've seen that they do well and try to implement it to my game.
All right, so you had a solid season with the Cardinals. Then you get to where you can be a free agent. From what I read, you spoke with teams like the Steelers, Jets, the Bears, of course, the Cardinals. What was the process that brought you to Chicago, and what made you lean that way and want to go there?
Honestly, just had an opportunity to work with Ed Donatel and Vic Fangio, and that was really what I was really for me was the deciding factor. These are some guys who are familiar with the playbook, and these are guys who believed in me in the past, and I had faith in them as well. So I just wanted to come with those guys and just get to work and just try to continue what we built on before. Vic is a defensive minded guy, and hats off to him. Ed, he had so many players, and he obviously knows what he's doing. So I was excited to be there, and just work with those guys. And then in Chicago as a whole, it's just a great place to be as a player, I feel. So I was just seemed just like the right fit for me in a sense.
Yeah, so we look at the Bears season coming up 2018. Of course, John Fox was let go. Matt Nagy was brought in as the head coach. What's been your take so far on the change in the coaching staff? I think the defensive staff stayed pretty much the same for you, didn't it?
Right, it definitely did.
So, have you got to meet the new head coach yet?
I was actually with him in Kansas City. He was the offensive coordinator there.
Okay, that's right.
For 3 years. So, yes, I am pretty familiar with him. I mean, coach is he has so much knowledge of the game. Came from under Andy Reid, of course. But just the way he conducted himself at work, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table here. He always had I think he always had the players trust in him, and he trusted his players, and I'm looking forward to see that implemented here in Chicago, and that's a turn up for some good things for us.
Well, and the great thing about the NFL, you saw it with the Eagles last year, to go from 5 or 6 wins to winning a Super Bowl. This is something that can be turned around quickly. So you have to be excited coming into this. You've got, I think, a better, more offensive coach to work with, what'll be a second-year quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. So the hopes have to be high here in Chicago coming up into this season, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. You look at Mitch, you start right there, it's a young, talented, very capable quarterback. We got great grinds around him to protect them. We have a great running game. We just have the pieces, to make things click on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. We're just a young group, and I think a young, hungry group, and I think we're looking to go out there and improve something.
So one thing I don't think fans realize is that the NFL is kind of a year-round job. I mean, you kind of recover for a little while,
right.
But what is your process right now, training-wise? Can you tell people what a normal day is for you?
Oh, man. For me right now, it's try to get at least 2 workouts in a day, whether maybe 5:30 in the morning, go get in a runner around the block, or doing some type of footwork thing in the morning. I come in, eat breakfast, rest, back at it again at 11, or a little bit later, depending on what's going on, and then it just doesn't stop after the workouts. You have to take the recovery process, as strong as you take the actual workout process. So, come in and try to get all these knots out of my body I just beat up on, and have to eat right. It's pretty rigorous as well, off season as it is in season. But it's just consistent grind, and something that we all signed up for. We know and understand that we have to do if we want to remain the best at what we do.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to talk to you about is that, and just the constant grind. And you see how some guys turn out from playing football. Is that something that you consider even a little bit, or is that something you just kind of keep it as far back as you can?
For me, I try to take it day by day. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring for me. Especially on the football field. Your career can be over within a snap of a finger. So every day I go out there, I try to put my best foot forward and pick up something I want to get better at, and just try to perfect that. And then the next day, if I do able to come out there and do the same thing, I get to stack that, and just try to continue to get better every day, and then keep my head down and grind. And I've kept that mentality, for my whole career so far, and I look up and it's at year 6. So I'm going to try to continue to do so, and hopefully I look up a few more years down the road and take a little breath in, and then get right back down to the grind.
All right, Marcus, I really want to appreciate you calling in. We're live right now, and I'm getting all kind of questions wanting to ask you about the Steelers game, and I'm not going to do that. And everybody needs to leave that alone. You won the game. Things happen. And I think with you, from the start doing the interview with you, just reading where you came from, and, you're kind of here against all odds, kind of a Cinderella Rocky story football-wise. And I really wanted to get that through to everybody and the people that keep sending me all these messages. The Steelers lost anyways. I'm a Bengals fan. I enjoyed that game. It didn't hurt anything, except that, it got you a little more well-known. So, but I really want to thank you for coming on.
Just a little mistake.
Yeah, it was just a mistake, and those mistakes are a lot easier to live with when you win. but you also learn from the mistakes
Absolutely.
so it doesn't happen again. But I really want to thank you for coming on the
Absolutely.
show today, Marcus. I hope you guys have a great season coming up in Chicago.
Oh, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Remember, you can check everything out on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher. Wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Marcus Cooper, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak. Hey, thanks a lot, Marcus.